Welcome back, and today we are going to be going over a kit review for Rosalia. Rosalia, let's go with that. I have changed the way I say her name so many times in the time period that I've known that she exists that, I don't know. But we'll go ahead and run over her skills, her kit, some places that she is good to be used, and just some other general info on her. Before that, I am going to go ahead and go to the one that I have because I threw a skin on her. I like this skin. It looks really nice. Her original skin also looks really nice, but just, I like this. And that sword is badass. It doesn't fit her kit, but hey, whatever. I just like that. So, let's go ahead and, well, one, you can see she's actually pretty good for BP. Now that I'm looking at it, that's a solid BP for A0, 104k. That is really good. Okay, so this is how I have her built out. Whether this is the best or not right now is to be determined. I have a feeling, honestly, Hell's Lament might end up being better for her because that's when she's going to be doing her attacks. In fact, I'm almost positive Hell's Lament will be better for her than the one that is in there. What is the name of this set? Let's see if I can not. Okay. Cataclysm. Wow. Okay. So, I'm pretty sure Hell's Lament will be better than Cataclysm, and Soulbound Arcana and whatnot should be good for her as well. This is just how I had her built last night. I didn't think of it last night when I was streaming, and I used her in Matrix 1. She did pretty solid for me. Now, so let's go over how her kit works, all of that good stuff. Before that, let's look at her base stats. Base stats: 19k HP, 4700 attack, magic resistance, defense, blah blah blah. Who cares? She has a 10-second attack interval time. That is huge. I have that down by 5.3 seconds at 479 attack speed. So this isn't as big of a deal as you would think. I'll go a little bit more into that as we go. Crit rate 100%. Crit damage baseline of 150. Crit rate has a baseline of 0. So yeah. The rest of these are pretty baseline stuff. Let's go over her kit now. So we'll go over her talent first, just to kind of get that baseline out of there. When enemies entered a painted tile, immediately take 300% AoE damage once and are inflicted with magic. This is a 25% magic res reduction, so solid. We know that. And the reason that this is good is because when you have knockback, this will happen multiple times. This damage has an 8-second cooldown per enemy. When casting the ultimate, immediately resets the cooldown for all enemies and reduces the cooldown by 4 seconds. So this drops to 4 seconds. So as long as they're slowed and they're only entering a tile every 4 seconds, this will do that damage again. Solid amount of damage, especially for her. So we'll go over her basic, her talents, her passive, then her ultimate. So basic attack is she paints rows of tile in a range of random color, red, yellow, or blue for 20 seconds. So this is why the attack interval isn't that big of a deal. As long as you get it down to her having 3 attacks every 20 seconds, you'll have this at a constant uptime, which is perfect. So, the red, yellow, blue, those all do separate things. Red, what it does is it inflicts burning on enemies in range for 5 seconds. So when they're in that tile, they'll have burning on them for 5 seconds. 5 seconds of when they're in and when they exit. So that could be potentially quite a bit of damage, especially if, say, they're just staying in one of those tiles. Yellow, what it does is it increases the caster's damage against enemies in range by 20%, so just more damage. And blue, what it does is it inflicts 1 stack of Winter's Bite on enemies in range every 2 seconds. Now, it doesn't specify how long this lasts. I imagine it just kind of lasts indefinitely, but that one I'm not 100% sure on. It might tell us later on. So, passive number 1, Congeal. When enemies enter a tile of the same color, they take an extra hit of 300% magic AoE damage, and they are inflicted with immobilized state. So, it's only 2 seconds, but this fully skilled up. I'm talking her fully skilled up, by the way. But oh yeah, let's double check. Yeah, so her skilled up increases the duration. So the immobilized state's only 2 seconds, but if they say hit a burning square, that's an extra 2 seconds of burning damage right there, plus the 300% damage. This is all in chance. You can't rely on this, unfortunately. It is good, but you can't rely on it. When it happens, it happens. And her other passive. So her last passive, apart from her bond skill, is when the hero kills an enemy, increases attack by 10% for 12 seconds, stacking up to 30%. So this can be triggered up to 3 times, giving her a 30% damage or attack increase for 12 seconds. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe this would just continuously have uptime if she's constantly killing enemies. That's not something she's going to be generally doing. She does do a lot of damage, but killing enemies is not her strongest suit. Her strongest suit is lockdown control, and then during her ult, she's going to be killing enemies. That's when you're going to be getting a lot of this. She does a ton of damage in bursts. She does some continuous damage, but in bursts, she does a ton of damage. That has to do with her ultimate. So, passive skill, if you get Pierre, the painter, that's when you get access to this skill. So, what it does is when she dies or retreats, it grants rage regen to allies adjacent. So, this is effectively a 20% rage increase over 10 seconds. So, could be handy for like last minute things. Say her ultimate just ran out, fight's about to end. In that sense, sure, could be handy, but honestly, this is a little lackluster in my opinion. But who am I? And then her ultimate. Now, her ultimate, as you can see here, what it does is she sends out a bunch of damage across, and pretty much what this does is when the ultimate is activated, each basic attack deals 800% AoE magic damage to up to 12 enemies and knocks back targets that are closer to the caster. Each attack also paints tiles within the attack range with a random color. During the ultimate, it reduces damage to the caster by 50%. So she takes less damage during the ultimate, and she does a ton of damage. This lasts for 25 seconds when fully skilled up, and it only costs 900. It is semi-expensive, but this does a ton of damage. This is why I say Hell's Lament might be better for her, because just getting that massive boost from Hell's Lament could help. I'm thinking probably she should work well with Infernal Roar as well, and Soulbound Arcana. I think probably Cataclysm is one of the worst fits for her, but I'll do some testing down the road. I'll see how that works out. So that is her. Let's go over her awakenings real quick. A1, when deployed immediately, she pretty much gets her ultimate right away and a 20% damage increase for the first 20 seconds she's down. Solid, really only helps when she's first placed. So there's that. A2, 300 attack, that's a normal thing. A3, the tiles that are in the front 2 rows continuously deal 30% AoE magic damage per second to enemies in range. That could be really good, especially for like Gear Raid 1. Gear Raid 1, you can position her so that's at the wall, and she's just going to be continuously doing damage to those people. That's actually a really good awakening in a general sense. I don't think it's going to be game breaking, but it's a really good awakening. It seems like it's not a whole lot, but that's 30% damage AoE per second, so that'll add up over time. A4, she gets penetration 8%, and A5 reduces the redeployment time by 50%. Each deployment permanently increases heroes damage by 5% up to 15. Okay, so this makes it so that she can be redeployed quicker, which would take advantage of her passive, so that's cool. Let's see what her redeployment time is. I didn't really look at it. I believe it's the general 60 seconds. Yeah, 60 seconds. So that would drop down to 30 seconds, which would be, what, 24 seconds with Volca on the field? That could be really good, actually. Surprisingly. Increases damage by 15%. You get the rage regen. She could definitely be used in a cycling sense for, like, Gear Raid 1. A few other places potentially, but Gear Raid 1 is the first one that comes to mind. Yeah, so she's really good. She does have an exclusive artifact. I do not have it, but let's see if we can look at it real quick. So her exclusive artifact, what it does is, now I imagine the AoE damage increase goes up to 30%. Not 100% sure, but I imagine that's what happens. But what it does is increases AoE AoE damage, and painted tiles inflict a 50% slow on enemies. Takes effect only when stronger than the current buff / debuff on the same attribute. So this would make it so that every single one of those painted tiles would also inflict slow. This is just really good for control. Like I said, she's mainly a control unit. She does a ton of damage. I did use her on my Matrix 1 team last night, and I got the highest score I have gotten. I don't know if it's in best records yet. No, it's not. But it was only like 60k. It wasn't a ton, but it was solid. She is going to be very usable in Gear Raid 1. I wouldn't be surprised if she's already on the recommended lineups. She should get right there. Yeah, she's going to be showing up a lot in here. Right there. Right there. Right there. Yeah, see, she's just a really good unit. If you got a chance to get her, great. But like I said, she is also very niche. She fills a specific role, and that's where she goes. So yeah, let me know if you want to see her in action in a specific place or anything along those lines. She also does have a video, which we will go ahead and watch while I exit out here. Yeah, but like I said, if you have anywhere you want to see her in use, definitely let me know in the comments below. Let me know if I missed a portion or you're not understanding something. This is the first time I've done a video guide-ish thing review of a kit in quite a while. So, yeah. Thoughts are not all there. Pierre is going to be probably a little bit more scattered because he is very unique. But that is Rosalia. Let me know what you think of her. Let me know if you got her. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.